Mic check, mic check. So, guys, welcome back to the next season of The Drop Podcast. I'm gonna light some incense real quick. Get the vibes going, you know what I mean? So yeah, for this season, we're gonna do Pokemon Emerald. Oh. Woo. I just breathed in. Just breathed in a lot of smoke. Oh my gosh. Oh jeez. Ooh. Oh man. Oh, well, that wakes you up at least. Goodness gracious. Oh, that hurts so bad. Ooh. Oh my gosh. That's weird. Never had that sensation before. Well, alright guys, so yeah, Pokemon Emerald version, kind of back to Pokemon, kind of where we started at. Where we started at a while back, like during the summer. That's crazy. I just can't believe how much, like how like it's just surprising to me how far this has come, you know? Like not that like I didn't think not that I didn't think it would get here to this point, but it's just like the fact that it is already, like it just kind of feels like life just like, you know, like it just happened so fast. Anyway, first things first, I'm gonna pick something that looks nice. For real, I might just stick with the regular, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably best. And then, yeah, man, so here we go. New game. I kind of quit on Chrono Trigger because I couldn't beat the guy. And to be honest, I was just kind of done playing that game. So, and it's my podcast. I can do what I want. You know what I mean? Oh, man. So this week, a lot has happened this week. I'm looking good at work. My boss is seeming to like me a lot, kind of, you know, letting me know. Because the thing is, so, like, I just got moved to this team, right? And so, this one's tough. I like female characters, but I like the guy character in this one too. Let's do girl. What was I saying though? So I got moved to this new position, and so I didn't have a computer. Well, I still don't have a computer, but for this position, you need a computer because we print things called PO tickets, and PO tickets allow us to kind of, or just receiving products. So like you scan the PO ticket and then you're receiving a product. And so I need a computer, but I always have to borrow other people's computers or go to one of the shipping computers. So I brought that up to him, and he was basically just telling me, like, we'll get you set up, you know, with email, with everything. We're going to get you set up. And so it was just real cool, like real cool the way that was handled. And I lost my walkie-talkie, because we have walkie-talkies. And even that, like, he was just being goofy with me. Just about the fact, he was like, "Oh, you lost it?" I was like, "Yeah." And I mean, he was just being funny, but all right, just give me 1 sec. I mean, you don't have to give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out for this game. So for Pokemon games, at the very beginning, you have a boy and a girl, and they have names that and you can you can choose their name, or you can just like put your own name, but I like to just use the characters' names for real. So Pokemon Emerald girl name. I guess her name is May, or in Japanese, Haruka. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Yeah, so we'll go ahead because I don't like May. Personally, I think May's, I don't know. It's just not my favorite name. I don't have anything against it, but, I wouldn't want to name my daughter, so we'll just call her Haruka. Even though for real, like, that's not that pretty either. Matter of fact, let's check out other names. Let's see what Pokemon Red girl's name is. Leaf, okay. And that's the same in Japanese, I guess. Alright, you know what? We'll just stick with Haruka. At least that's how you say it in English. But yeah, so a lot has happened this week. Besides work and just, me feeling confident about work. I got hit. I got hit by a car. Not bad. I was driving my dad's truck and this car swerved into the suicide lane. So I was going on the right side. They were coming down the left side. And they swerved into the suicide lane, ran into the side of the truck, and I heard them. The girl screamed. She goes, "Oh sh!" And then all I see is like it's just like this car, and I turn slightly, but then I'm like, "Oh shit!" But I don't want to hit anybody else. So anyway, so it just happens. She takes the side of the the mirror off, so the mirror comes completely off, and then the door handle gets like smashed in, and then I'm like, okay, first off, what the hell? And then I keep going. Hold on, what time is it? It is 3:55 p.m. right now. So I keep going, and let's see, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I keep going, and whatever, no, I'm not. Well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, the mirror just came off. Like, this isn't my car. What do I do? Because she's going the complete other way. So I pull in. So I go, and I'm like, holy shit. So anyway, so I pull into this other place, right? Oh, speaking of, I gotta set my timer. So I go ahead, pull into one of the places nearby, and I get out of my car, and I'm looking to see if she's gonna come or turn around. So I'm gonna give her a second, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna wait. And then this guy pulls in, and I'm confused because his car looks fine. And then he gets out, and I'm just like getting ready. Like, I don't get mad about stuff, so I was just like, man, all right, let's just deal with this. Let's just see what's up. So, go outside. You guys. So yeah, so I'm basically just like, like whatever. I'm cool. I'm gonna be cool. I just need to know like what the heck. I just need to get their information basically. And so I'm about to call my mom too. I'm about to be like, I just got hit. So anyway, so this guy this guy pulls in, and then he gets out the car, and he's like, yo man, this blah blah, and he was cursing. He was like, this, da da da. She was pulling in and out. She was swerving around. He was like, I know, cause I saw it. Or he was like, I saw it, and I know, cause she almost swerved into me. I was like, oh. And then he was like, but are you alright, man? And I was like, oh yeah, man. Like, it's just one of those things. Like I just appreciate the fact that he stopped. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, that's what I'm gonna remember. That thing, that's gonna be fixed. One thing that can't be fixed is she was an ass. Like, she's an asshole now, and that's always how I'm gonna remember it. Like, she, you know what I mean? But like him, like I'm gonna remember him for being the guy that stopped. Gave me time. Like, showed some form of that he cares. You know what I mean? Oh, this one's tough. I'm gonna go for Mudkip. That's my favorite. just showed me that he cared, enough to pull over and see if I was okay. Like, I'm just a random guy. He doesn't even know who I am. But, he saw that, and he pulled over too to check on me. So I don't know, man. I just, that's what I'm gonna remember. You know what I mean? Like, that was just something that really stood out to me. And I don't know. I didn't get his name, but I really appreciated that. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, that's what I'm gonna remember from that day. I'm not gonna remember the girl slamming him into the car, because that, the mirror's gonna get replaced. Matter of fact, it'll be a new mirror. So I don't know. That'll be good. But yeah, man. Like, that was something that meant something. And I don't know. Like, maybe he just pulled over just because he was upset too, and he was like, he just wanted justice, so he wanted to be there whenever I called the cops or whatever. But I don't think so, man. I really do think he came to check. You know what I mean? Because pretty much, like, I was about to pull out, and then that's whenever he pulled out. Anyway, so I was about to leave, and then I got a call, and it was my parents. And they're like, "Oh, call the cops so that there can be a police report, so that you can get what you need for insurance, so insurance will cover it, hopefully." So yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened. It's just crazy like that. Like, I never thought. So I've never been in an accident. I've had a few people slide into me. Like, this one guy, I was driving home. I think I was coming home from, like, guitar or something. And so I was driving home, and this guy pulls out of this Sonic and Steak and Shake, and then he slides into me, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he looks like he's thinking about, like, just going, and then all of a sudden he just goes, "Oh shit!" Like, I see his face, you know what I mean? He's just like, "Oh man." So then he pulls over, and I pull over too, and so I'm pretty much like, I'm just like, "Yo, like, look, like, the damage isn't bad. Like, for real, it was just like a streak of black." And so I was like, "For real, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm cool. It's not my car, so I need to check." You know what I mean? Like, this is important. And so he was just like, "Yeah, all right." He was like stressing out. Like, he was pacing back and forth. He was grabbing his wallet. I thought he was about to pay me off, which I would not have been upset about. He definitely could have did that. But yeah, man. That was all cool. Like, we basically were like, "Well, there's no damage. The car's running fine, so we can, go ahead, go." But with this one, the handle on the door and the whole freaking mirror is gone now. So yeah, not the same situation, except that girl, she ran. She was not gonna stick around, man. And I heard her too. She said, "Oh shit," and then left. I was like, damn. That was on Lindbergh Boulevard. I was going home from work. But anyway, later that day, so I was going home from work, and what's crazy is I was about to leave to go to Kansas City. I was just gonna go to Kansas City because my dad was working out there right now, and so we were gonna go see him. I mean, we did, but we were going to that day, and so I was like, and everyone else had already driven, so I was gonna drive by myself. And then that happened. It's just crazy, but I mean, I still went. We had a great time, but what's crazy is, like, I don't realize how much I use that left side mirror. You know what I mean? Like I kept glancing over at it, and every time I was like, dang. Like, I can't use it. Like, I can't see. But yeah, man, it was just crazy. Like, I just, you never think that that'll, like, happen to you. You know what I mean? But the crazy thing is, like, there was like very little that I could have done. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just a weird situation, man. It's like it's zero. Like, I can say 100%. Like, with the other situation, like, it wasn't busy. It wasn't on a busy street. He was just pulling out of a Steak and Shake. For real, like, I could have just been in the other lane. That time, like, she could have hit me head on. Like, we were that close. And there was zero escaping. Like, she got into the suicide lane, was swerving in, and then swerved into the side of me. And and I was on Limburg, which, if you don't know about Limburg, is Highway 67. It was packed. Like, when you're on Highway 67, you are packed. Like, person to the left of you, well, not to the left because there's a suicide lane, obviously, but person to the right. You know what I mean? Like, that's the busy street. Lucky for me, I wasn't going that fast. So, for real, like, if I was going faster, it could have been worse. But I don't know, man. It's so crazy. Like, I never would have expected. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's one thing. Like I don't know, man. And then the whole way driving to Kansas City, because I drove that night. Like, every single car that passed me, like, I was like freaking out. Like, I thought they were gonna like swerve into me. It was crazy. So I can see, you know what I mean? I can see how bad things kind of like stick in your head, you know what I mean? Kind of freak you out a little bit. But I will say, like, like, I just kept driving and I just kept going. One thing that I think is interesting for like Jordan Peterson is like whole treat patients with like reoccurring bad dreams, and it's like a fear that they have, like, oh, like, this snake keeps attacking, or this snake keeps appearing in my dreams and I'm scared of it. Then he goes, well, next time you dream, approach the snake, you know what I mean? And, like, I don't know, make it friendly or whatever. And so basically what he's doing is he's making the snake, he's changing your perception on the snake. It's like, if you approach the snake and you realize, like, oh, the snake's not that bad, you know what I mean? It changes like it changes how you perceive that snake. So it's like, in that moment, like, this is just kind of like the way I see it, and kind of just something interesting that I learned. It was like, while that happened, it was like, I for real didn't feel like driving. Like, I kind of just wanted to not. But it's like, that happened, and I wouldn't say like I forced myself into the car. I mean, I kind of did, but I mean, basically, I was just like, all right, let's just keep driving. And then the whole way back or to Kansas City was like, I was like freaked out kind of each car that was, if it was gonna hit me or not. But then after a while, it started to become like, okay, like, no, like, this is normal. It's like I've driven so many times and I haven't been scared. It's like, this is just a bad occurrence. You know what I mean? Like, I changed the definition of this for me. You know what I mean? For real, that might not be like the best way to say it, but anyway, I mean, it was just an experience. You know what I mean? Something interesting that I just kind of recognized in this pattern of life or behavior that I was living in at that moment. And like, now I'm back to normal. Like, I drove home and I just kept going. So that's why, like, I guess, like, my takeaway from that for real is like if you're afraid, like, just go for it. And that's also been attached to, because like recently I've been trying to buy a home, and so it's kind of like it's not just the fact that it's not just the fact, what I like about this game, we get running shoes way faster. But anyway, but it's not just about the fact that what am I saying? It's not just the fact that like I got hit, you know what I mean? But like, a lot of, I think, like, why I've been thinking about this is partly because of the fact that, like, I've been dealing with, or I've been going through this scary process of looking at homes, looking into buying homes and saving up money and looking at like this big loan that I'm going to take on. And it is scary, and it's like, I feel like I'm just like marching forward. Like, I'm not even like looking anymore. Like, I'm just closing my eyes and walking. Because I'm afraid, for real. And so, but it's like that exactly. Like, I'm afraid. And I think what I'm learning is that, like, the best way is just to move forward, like, just keep going for it, and try and understand it. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I met this guy who, where was I? I I met this guy back in 5th grade. Well, I mean, I knew him before that, but in 5th grade, like, this is just something I specifically remember. It was 5th grade, and I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, why are people afraid of the dark? And then he goes, because people are afraid of what they don't know. And I was like, oh, like, that is so smart, and that's something that has just stuck with me, like, forever. But, yeah, no, I did tell you guys about this. I forgot. Yeah, it was just so clever of him to say that. But, I think that makes sense just in the realm of like, yeah, like we kind of do the same, I guess. Like we are up here, we're like, well, I don't know, or it's like this in this example, I guess. In this example, it's like I was afraid, you know what I mean? Like I was terrified. Well, I wasn't necessarily afraid. Like it was a lesser scary thing, but it was like I had two options. Like I could have avoided it and been afraid, or I could have tackled it or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, but then Kansas City. Let me tell you guys about Kansas City, because Kansas City was a cool place, man. It reminds me a lot. I mean, it's Missouri. But it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's different from St. Louis City. Like I almost feel like, I don't know if it's because I live in St. Louis, and so it's like, to me it is just something that I'm used to. But I do kind of feel like it's different in a lot of ways. Like there's more things, and like I said, whoops, a lot of it's probably just because it's newer, but I don't know, man. But a couple things that we did, I wrote them down. We stayed at this hotel, which is really nice. And I actually finished my story. So now the next thing I'm gonna do, now that I finish my story, is I'm gonna start my what is it called? Now that I finished my story, now next thing I'm gonna do is begin looking at gosh, I need to put my finger on this. Making the comic, making the manga. So anyway, so on the way to Kansas City, I saw this place called Blackwater, Missouri, and it's cool. Like I didn't get to stop there, but I really wanted to. But what's cool about Blackwater, Missouri is this like it's an old town, right? So it's like this old what am I trying to say? It's this old. I think there was like a train that went through it, and it was big for like deliveries with like shipments and stuff going on the train. Like it was just like a port, I guess, kind of for products to come in and then go. And so yeah, but what's supposed to be there is this like a just hold on, let me just look it up. Blackwater, Missouri. What's cool, or the reason why I was curious in the first place is because Blackwater is the name. If you've ever played the game Red Dead Redemption, which is a great game, there's a place called Blackwater, and Blackwater is like this modern town of that time, which I think is like the turn of the century into the 1900s. Yeah, it's like this modern town where there's like cars and buggies and stuff, but it's unique, you know what I mean, to the rest of the game. And so I just really wanted to see it because it's like an old town modern city. Like I kind of want to know what that looks like, and that's kind of how it's seen. Like it's a historic town. And right now, looking at pictures, like, yeah, there's like a Kimberly's restaurant. It almost looks like Old St. Charles, like Old Town St. Charles. If you ever been down to St. Charles. Blackwater, Missouri. It almost looks like it could have been inspired. I mean, the game Red Dead Redemption almost looks like it could have been inspired by Blackwater, Missouri, for real. I wonder if they got more people or more tourism because of the game Red Dead Redemption. It looks really cool though. I kind of want to go. I'm really sad that I missed it, man. I really wanted to go to Blackwater, Missouri. And there's restaurants there, shops. Yeah. Let me look this up. So Blackwater, Missouri. The historic town of Blackwater sits just south of the river, the Blackwater River, I guess. They have from the black soil on the river banks. That's interesting. I wish I saw that. This unique town was founded in 1887 when the spring of the same year as the Missouri Pacific Railroad Company surveyed for the location of the Missouri River route. The route was known as JCB&L. Soon after the surveying railroad began, later that year, the town of Blackwater sprang up, and you may purchase books, blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of made for the purpose of the river being there, so like shipments coming up. But there's also this post office that was pretty big that read about. Yeah, man, Blackwater. I know also Blackwater, like right now it only has like 100 something, like there's only like 167 people that live there. Man, sometimes I wish I could go back in time just to see, you know. Like if I am to pursue a second career in my life, one thing that I kind of want to do is I want to go to like a rural part in like Europe, just open up like a bakery or like a shop of some sort. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool. It'd be cool because it's like I can do whatever I want. Like, 1900 inspiration for Blackwater. Yo, St. Louis, Missouri, 1900s looks dope. I wish I could have seen St. Louis City whenever it was like just booming with like businesses down the street, you know what I mean? Like that now there's I don't know, like it's just not, it's like boarded up and kind of sad. Like it's still cool, like you go on the Loop or something or whatever, but like you go down the Fox, like you go down the Fox streets, like everything's boarded up and there's not shops on every street. Like it's sad. It's really, really depressing, but I don't know, man. I just wish I could have seen, you know, St. Louis in its prime. You know what I mean? Like Kansas City, like that's kind of how I felt about Kansas City. Like Kansas City looks like how I would expect St. Louis City in its prime to look like. You know, like there's this Japanese, like there's just tons of shops. Like there was this Japanese shop that I got a bunch of Japanese snacks from. And speaking of which, I'm gonna have one. And then there was this place called like Faux Long Noodles or whatever. And so I mean they had noodles, and I don't know if this Korean or whatever. They had a game shop. They had good like barbecue restaurants. Just a lot of really interesting things, you know what I mean? That I wish I got to see. But I don't know, man. It's what it is. Sometimes things just don't. I don't know. Here's my thing though. I think it'd be cool if like one of my life goals is like I travel and I come back to Florissant and make Florissant this big place. Like we have an old town, Florissant City, and it's small, but if I could expand that and make that kind of like what old St. Charles is, that'd be hella cool. And then also like a Florissant City, like expand Florissant. I don't know, man. Or maybe just put money into like the St. Louis area. I don't know. Roth's location. I've been thinking kind of like, you know, what should I do with my life, I guess. I've been thinking about that because like I'm kind of thinking about things like should I have a family? Like that's what I just wrote a story about. And basically the message of the story is like I just need to do this. And then whenever I'm ready, I'll settle. You know what I mean? Like, but I just need to do this first. Like I just need to explore first. But that makes me think like one of the reasons why, you know, I think I connect with older people so much is because I listen, you know, because I'm curious. Because to me, it's like these older people, they're not just doing what they do because they're stubborn. They're doing what they do, a lot of things that they do because they've learned something that I don't know. Either that or they're tired. You know what I mean? But you can tell. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the difference between someone who's just tired and there's someone who has something to offer. You know what I mean? And so I listen, you know what I mean? Because I believe it's like if I can hear what they have to say, it's like I can skip like 20 years of experience, you know what I mean? Like I can just pick up where they're leaving off, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I come from in terms of just like why I connect with older people very well. Yeah, like I said, it's because I listen. I don't think they listen very well, but you know, I listen very well, and so I get a lot out of that relationship. You know what I mean? But one of the things I feel like I see is like they're settled. You know what I mean? Why? And I kind of feel like I know why, because it's like, what else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like what else are you gonna do with your life? You know, like there really isn't that much purpose. You know what I mean? Like we're just here, and we could be gone at any second. So it's like, it really doesn't matter. So it's like you could find purpose, like you could make purpose. I mean, you can make life whatever you want. You know what I mean? So I think that's really what it is. Like just do what you want. But in terms of like I want to travel. You know what I mean? But I feel like the other side of life is like taking on responsibility. You know what I mean? Like just taking on responsibility and putting in the work early so that you can relax later. But I want to relax early. You know what I mean? But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I know like what I should be pursuing is like a family, like that responsibility, you know? And that's what girls want. Or at least the girls in my life, it's like truly what they care about is just having a family. It's like everyone, like they're just like, I just want a kid, like for real. Like they don't care about work. Like they go to college, but it's like, and they want purpose, you know what I mean? Like they want a job and they want to make money because everyone loves to make money, but it's like most females in my life, Like that's what they want. It's like anything else is second. You know what I mean? Is second to is anything else is second to that to spit it out to having a family. Like that's the number one goal. And man, I truly don't like I just don't like I like I'm saying, like I feel like I know, you know what I mean? And what I just wrote about, my story that I just wrote, like that's kind of it. Like why would you or like just like what I wrote is basically saying that I know that, okay, this is crazy. I know that I can't I know that what's important is 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 like having that or like what, I don't even know, but I know that like at some point it's like I'm gonna want that, you know what I mean? Or I don't even know. I just know at some point it's like, well, I guess that is important, or at least like the one thing that makes the most sense, you know what I mean? Like if we're here to just keep making more of us, it's like, yeah, like reproduce, have a family, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, like take on that responsibility of serving and taking care of a kid. It's just that, you know, like what I want, like I just want this first, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of like where I'm headed. It's like I'm doing all this and I just need to do this, you know? But once I do this, then I think I'll be ready. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I feel. I don't know, man. And yeah, that's what I wrote about. So I just finished my story that I was working on, the comic that I'm going to make. And the premise is that at the very end, he has a kid. He has a kid that he doesn't know about, and then all of a sudden the kid comes, and then he takes care of this kid, shows this kid everything, and so it's like the opposite of how he was. Like he was secure, and then explored. This kid is explores and then is sent to his father's family that he didn't know about. Decides to stay in the security, you know, where the dad had the security, left the security, and then came back, you know. And at the very end, he comes back to the girl, to the mother of his kid, you know. I think it's a beautiful story, but it's just like, I don't know, like it's just something that I'm thinking about, like what is the right decision, you know what I mean? Because it's like I could skip, you know, I guess like the journey of trying to find that purpose and just go to having that kid and taking on that responsibility. Or not necessarily go straight to having a kid. Like I'm not gonna have a kid right now, but you know, like pursue that instead of travel. But it's like I want travel. Like I just don't feel like I don't know. I just feel like I need this. You know what I mean? Like I just need to travel. I don't know, man. Ultimately, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, cause like it's like whether I know it's meaningless or not, I don't know. Cause then the other side of me is like, well, you know, like what is the point of life? You know what I mean? And it's to enjoy life. You know what I mean? It's to enjoy life, or biologically to make more. But like part of me enjoying life is gonna be me experiencing things and taking trips and seeing things, you know. So that's just like I just feel like that's what I need to do first, you know. Then the next thing I guess is like, okay, you need to do this first, then when does the kid come in, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, what if you don't find somebody, you know? Like what if you leave this opportunity because you want to explore, and then you lose out on that side of it, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like, truthfully, like, I just feel like this is what I have to do, and so this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know, even if it's dumb, you know, even if it's stupid, I don't know. I just want to explore culture for real. And to be honest, I also kind of believe that if you're a good person, I think I really do. I think it'll work out. You know what I mean? Because that's what I've found in my life. It's like I used to be jealous and envious of people. You know what I mean? And I was a bad. I don't think I was a great person as a kid. But I think like just like learning that life is enjoyment. Like it's just about enjoying yourself. It's like I become less judgmental. I become more curious about people and things. Like the more that I enjoy life, like the better of a person I am, the more I enjoy life, you know. Um and what else? Oh, uh yeah, and so it's like one thing that I also notice, you know, one thing I think I've learned just from like watching like the best people in my life, like the people that I probably looked up to as a kid. Um like the difference between or like even like popular kids, you know what I mean? Like the difference between other people and like the popular kid is that like they're always like really nice. Like very rarely, I think in my life at least, like I'm sure other people have different experiences, but in my life most of the time the person who is popular that I've seen is always just like a really good person, like someone that listens, you know. Everyone has their demons, but they're always like someone that will hear you talk, you know what I mean? Someone that will try and understand you, you know. And that's something that's rare, you know. um but yeah, and so that's kind of where I see it though. And then as I'm growing more comfortable with myself and starting to realize like I mean just all these things, you know, as I'm starting to become more secure and I'm learning how to listen and stuff like that and be curious and also just find like pleasure in life rather than all the bad things. It's like I kind of feel the same thing. It's like I don't think like I don't know. I'm trying to think like I don't think I have any enemies. You know what I mean? Like most like people are just cool with me. Like that's just the way it is. Um, and I think that's just because like you know like that's just what I'm seeing. Like as I'm becoming more like just relaxed and chill. It's like I don't think I'm necessary. I don't know. I wouldn't say like I wouldn't claim myself to be like I don't know. Well, I'm not in school anymore, so it's hard to say. You know, but I don't think I'm popular. But it's also different. You know, like it doesn't really work like that in the real world. But in scenarios where it's like you can see how someone like kind of feels about you, I guess it's like most people are just like cool with me, and it's weird because I feel like I do attract people. Uh, I feel like people just like I don't know, they treat me better. Like it's weird. Like I can't explain it. Like I did have this one situation where so I'm pretty much one of two white guys. Hold on, I'm trying to think if that's accurate. No, one of four white guys in a group of like 40 at my job. Maybe a little bit more. And and I'm also the youngest. Uh and so I did kind of get like there was like maybe and truthfully like it was only one guy, so it was like there was like this one no, well that's not true. There was uh I would say there were two people that kind of kept it up. One person did it like one time, um and then there's another person that did it for a while, but I don't know, but like basically they would just like I would walk in the room and they would be like, "Hello, sir. How you doing?" You know what I mean? Like they would just, I don't know. And I'm not really sure what that it was about. But like I just gave no mind to it. You know what I mean? And cuz truthfully it didn't matter. Like it was like one day I was like upset about it. It was like, dude, like why? Like cuz I don't understand. Like is it cuz I'm white that you're saying it like that? Like they'd be like, "Hello, sir. How are you today?" And they'd be like, "Hello, hello." You know what I mean? Like they just I would walk in the room and then I just remember that one time, this one guy like he like I didn't even respond. Like I just ignored it. But like he looked at me. He was like, "Hello, sir. How you doing?" You know what I mean? And I don't know, like just like all business like and you know, completely different than how he usually talks. And it was just awkward. And so basically, like I just kept walking. Like I was like, man, forget that. You know what I mean? And that was the time that it did stick with me. Like that did kind of upset me, but I let it go. And then there was like a time like maybe 2 weeks later where like he needed something. So like basically what I did is I just like I helped him out. You know what I mean? Like I was there whenever he needed. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and now it doesn't happen. Like and part of me kind of feels like part of that was their own insecurity because he was new at that time. And then, he was also in his group, his friend group. He was brought in through friends, like friend of friends. And so it's like this group of like 4 that like all knew each other from school. But anyway, like I'm sure it was just like him feeling, confident and also just trying to kind of put himself in a position at work. You know what I mean? Like just like ease himself. You know what I mean? Because he's also like he just came here. He's probably feeling a little bit scared, a little bit uncomfortable. So I mean, he's probably just trying to relieve some of that tension for himself too. Not the way that I think he should have done it, and like it just wasn't very respectful of me. But anyway, but I'm just getting to the point that it's like I just kept being a good person. Now it's like now I feel like almost in some kind of way it's like they reach out to me. You know what I mean? Like now it's like they're trying to get like in a more respectful way. Like they don't make like they've made or they haven't said anything stupid like that recently, but like they will say hey, like they'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Josh?" You know what I mean? I'll be like, "What's up?" Like it's normal. You know what I mean? And sometimes I do kind of feel like they or not all of them, but like 2 of them in some situations like kind of like want to connect in some kind of way or like feel connected in some kind of, I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Like I don't know, like I kind of gotta put my finger on it better too. But yeah, like it's just cool. You know what I mean? So but that's the thing, is like when you are just good, when you're a good person, you don't resent, you don't hold in that anger, like that hatred for, I don't know, like people that make fun of you for, you're white. So it's like they so it's like they talk to you in a stereotypical white type of way, like whether that's like a businessy or like a hick, a hillbilly or whatever. Like truthfully, like the best thing you can do is just keep being a good person, and then eventually it's like people come around. It's like I don't think people want to be bad. It's just like there's like people don't want to be assholes, but it's like people are dealing with stuff. You know what I mean? Like people are going through stuff themselves, and so it's like you just can't hold people against stuff, especially whenever they're young, because they're trying to figure out who they are. So it's like whenever people are trying to figure out who they are, they say stupid things. Like I've like I said, like I'm probably the biggest a-hole like ever. Like I've well, not ever, but it's like that's how I feel sometimes. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes I won't do things. You know what I mean? And honestly, like now the biggest thing for me is the stuff that I don't say now. Like it's like it used to be the stuff that I did say. Like back whenever I was a kid, like I would say stupid stuff like that, like what they did to me. Now it's the stuff that I don't say. Like if I don't say excuse me, or like if I don't hold the door, like I feel like an a-hole, and so like then I feel like I owe somebody something. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad about it. You know what I mean? So now it's just like getting the confidence to do, I mean, like, before it's getting the confidence in myself, now it's getting the confidence outward. Like, I feel like that's just like everything just seems to work that way. You know what I mean? Like, or well, confidence, like especially. Like, I just feel like it goes from like the inside out. You know what I mean? Man, this was good. This was a good episode. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Drop Podcast. Remember, this is the podcast where we play games, hang out, just do our thing. I just talk, for real. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were entertained. I feel like this was a good episode. Like I said, this is a new season, new game. I feel like I'm starting off fresh. I'm excited about this game. Whereas I was kind of getting bored of Chrono Trigger. Even though it's such a great game, it's just like, I don't know. I was getting tired of it. But, yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm starting to get more comfortable in this. Starting to figure out, like, where my speed is, you know what I mean? And how to do it. It's a skill that you're always learning on. But anyway, I'll talk about that next time. Yeah, so if you want to financially support this podcast, one thing that you can do is go to my website, joshuatbryan.com, where you can donate. If you scroll all the way down, there's a section where you can donate. What else? The other thing that you can do, for real, just like by watching and being here, you know what I mean? Eventually, like, I'm trying to figure out like what I can do to get like a communication type of thing going on. Whether that's just gonna be through Instagram or whatever. You know, I still gotta figure that out, but yeah, man, but I hope you guys enjoyed. The format might change a little bit in about like 15. Well, actually, for you guys, it might be in like a week. Because I'm gonna have my cousin here, and I kind of want to do like a dual conversation. You know what I mean? Just hang out. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we'll get like high and just talk or whatever. Or I mean, just like maybe even talk. Like, we don't even feel need to do that. Yeah, for real. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and that'll be a said. I'll see you guys next time. See you.